Good day, Unlimited people. Sook here. Thought I'd share something with you all today. A couple of maps that I've been working on. First of all, I want to acknowledge and appreciate Alex Bond, who basically brought these maps into existence. I started this map, let me find it. Oh, you and me. Yeah, it looks like I started October 7th. I had shared a little bit of it with Alex. It seemed to resonate with him, and that kind of gave me the inspiration to finish it off and share it with everyone. So I just want to thank Alex Bond for that. He's basically brought these maps into existence, and a lot of my other maps into existence. I've shared some maps with him in the past. They seem to resonate with him, and sometimes when you're involved with such a wonderful community full of such positive people who are impacting the world and making a difference, you're not exactly sure what to share and what not to share. So I just decided I'm just going to start sharing everything. The way I look at it is, if 1,000 people view my maps and it makes a difference in one person's life, then I've done my job. And if I can just put a smile on that person's face and a twinkle in their eyes, well, then the map has served its purpose. So anyways, here's what we come up with. I'm going to talk about... Sorry about that, guys. Mute all this technology. Alright, so the two maps I wanted to share is one's called the You or Me world, and that is what I consider to be the current world we live in. So I've put down about 132 thoughts of what that looks and feels like to me. You can refer to that as the current world, the old paradigm, and the old realm of reason, the world of the ordinary, the current world, whatever that means to you. And then I came up with the contrasting thoughts of what I'm calling the you and me world. So this is, to me, this is my utopia. And here's the vision. Let me put that aside and see if I can bring it up. So here's my vision declaration. Enrolling people into a new future with a vision of love, sharing, oneness, and abundance. Transforming Earth into Utopia, where everyone discovers the access to be fully alive, free, and self-expressed day to day. Creating possibilities for everyone to be living a fulfilled and satisfied life in total harmony with both all beings and the planet. So that's my vision that I'm striving for. And the beauty of the UIE community is, judging from the posts I read and what everyone's up to, we all have a common vision of a better world, whatever that looks like to each of us, that is similar to this utopia that I'm striving for. And in there, everyone has their own mission and their own purpose of what they need to do to have the world evolve to that final goal. And that's why I really enjoy this community. something interesting that came up for me during this exercise was I started to come up with thoughts about the current world, you know. So I was really dwelling into negativity, negative thoughts, negative energy. And it took me a long time actually to put that map together. I was becoming very resigned and cynical during the process. And somewhere in the middle of the process, I decided, okay, let me go to the you and me world. Let me start to put my thoughts together for, you know, this future that I envision, this future that of a better world, a better place. And what I found was, once I went there, the positive energy, my positive thoughts, it really made me realize how abundant nature really is. Because though I only have 132 thoughts, 133 thoughts listed over here, I could easily come up with 1,000 ideas. I mean, there's words that I haven't used, such as I don't know, grace, passion, reverence, and the only reason being is I want to create a contrast. I kind of wanted to show, here's the new vision. This is what the current world, in my eyes, looks like. So I kind of limited it to 132 thoughts. You know, the negative energy is very limiting. It's hard to come up with much more, which in a way is good, right? So the positive energy is unlimited, and like I said, I could come up with 1,000 words for this side, but I really wanted to contrast things. So as you can see, here's the you and me world. You know, what does it look and feel like? This is my utopia. I already gave you the vision. Guys, this is the first, actually this is the second video I'm shooting, so I apologize if it's a little bit slow, but we'll get it going. The first video I shot was solving a problem with my profile on UIE. Anyways, okay, so here, you get the idea here. So in the you and me world, we've got clarity as opposed to confusion. We've got being present as opposed to being absent. We've got humbleness instead of huge egos. We've got taking action instead of complaining. We've got joy instead of anger. We've got happiness instead of suffering. We've got freedom instead of survival. We've got satisfaction instead of discontentment. We've got fulfillment instead of emptiness. We've got being extraordinary instead of being ordinary. We've got peace of mind instead of worry. We've got full self-expression instead of indifference. And guys, the reason, I mean, I could just show you this map, but I'm just kind of reading through the words to see how it makes me feel. You know, you get that feeling. I think it really makes an impact on you. So, you know, we've got gratitude versus jealousy. We've got abundance mentality versus scarcity mentality. We've got empowerment versus disempowerment. We're touching, we're moving, we're changing position, we're inspiring people, as opposed to a lack of feeling, a fixed way of being, discouragement, discouraging people. You know, over here we're in life, we're on the court, we're actually living. In the other world, most people are in the stands. There's authenticity versus inauthenticity. We're working in groups as opposed to isolation. We've got a global community versus operating as separatists. We're supporting people as opposed to opposing them. We're making a difference as opposed to making it or just getting by. We've got breakthroughs instead of reasons why. You know, making choices instead of decisions. We're living an upset-free life as opposed to living with upsets. We're acting with responsibility instead of avoiding responsibility. We're being cause in the matter instead of living in a cause and effect world. We're taking a stand instead of being resigned. You know, we're exercising personal power as opposed to positional power. And, you know, here's some of my words. You can call this whatever you want, you know. the new age world of you and me, the new world, the new paradigm, a realm of new possibility, or a new realm of possibility, the world of enrollment, utopia. That's just some phrases. We've got integrity versus corruption, relationships versus ignorance, existence versus hopelessness, enrollment instead of manipulation, people honoring their word instead of dishonoring their word, reality versus stories. People make declarations rather than having rather than being insincere, commitments instead of deceit, promises instead of lies, sharing instead of hoarding, acknowledgement versus invalidation, appreciation versus disparagement, aliveness instead of numbness, love instead of fear, affinity instead of hatred, vitality instead of apathy, well-being instead of being unhealthy, winning at the game of life rather than losing at the game of life. You got peace instead of war, sustainability instead of poverty, collaboration as opposed to non-cooperation, mastery in living rather than just a means to an end world, open thinking versus brainwashing, transformational education versus informational education, just being unlimited rather than living with limiting beliefs, inquiry instead of knowing it all, coaching rather than domineering people, being specific as opposed to working with generalizations, impacting the quality of life instead of ignoring the quality of life, conversation, actually talking about ideas as opposed to gossip and talking about people. What else do we got? In the you and me world, in Utopia, in the world of enrollment, we're going to forgive others. We're not going to hold a grudge. We're going to have successful people instead of unsuccessful people. We're going to have gratitude versus entitlement. We accept responsibility for failure rather than blaming others for failure. Compliment people rather than criticizing. Put ourselves in win-win situations as opposed to this win-lose or zero-sum type game. We're actually changing lives rather than destroying life. Taking risk as opposed to avoiding failure. Mind mapping versus being a 3-second fish. Transparency versus secrecy. Education for living versus an education for life. Transformational perspective versus a transactional perspective. A life by design as opposed to life by default. Confidence versus uncertainty. Compassion versus being cruel. Considerate instead of being disrespectful. Unselfish as opposed to being selfish. Friendly instead of being mean. Got people of courage as opposed to people of cowardice. Connection rather than being lonely. Unity as opposed to being disconnected. Charity as opposed to stealing. Synergy instead of hindrance. We've got a background of relatedness in this world. Over in the old world, we've got racism and all kinds of things happening. Creating possibilities as opposed to being constrained. Powerfully completing things instead of letting things fester. Working with miraculous results as opposed to mediocre results. Dealing with generosity as opposed to greed. Workable relationships. We've got a world of workability as opposed to just abuse. Power in the face of no as opposed to being powerless in the face of no. You got, awesome. UIE, Unlimited U Education. I love this education. Anyways, it's very transformative, and mind mapping is pretty unique. Actually, on the mind mapping, I'm a firm believer that for humans, there's really no reality which is independent of language. Being in the world arises in language. And what I discovered from the mind mapping is it's incredible to be able to put your thoughts on paper to refer to them later. I mean, look, I've got 132 thoughts here. You know, these thoughts have always been in my head, but I've never actually put them on paper. By putting them on paper, I see them and it puts them into existence because it creates conversations about things. So I can, you know, I've got 132 things I can talk about here and have a conversation about. You know, in the past I would have had a thought, would have forgot about it and moved on, you know. So I put these thoughts down. They went into existence. And, you know, just as an example, I haven't linked the maps up yet, but, you know, eventually I'll probably have a map for all 132 things in here. But by thinking about these things, I did some serious soul searching on topics for myself, such as what is integrity? What are relationships? What's existence? What's enrollment? What is responsibility? I've made mind maps on those thoughts. So these 132 thoughts manifest, each thought manifests into unlimited other thoughts. But the beauty is I now have a record of it. It's on paper, and I can share it with people. Oh, look, there's another idea just came to mind, how to live upset free. There's a good map I need to make. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. I didn't realize that. Where am I? All right. So we're going to trust people as opposed to being cynical. We're advancing humanity in this world, in the you and me world, in Utopia, versus problems such as child slavery, violence against women, etc. I mean, they're endless, the problems. You all know that, guys and girls, sorry. You know, we got creativity over here as opposed to an inability to do things. Okay, that's my own tidbit. Basically saying don't use the word because. Yeah, because when you use because, you actually, you know, you're justifying something. You're stripping yourself of your choice. Also, you're avoiding the minute you use because, you're avoiding responsibility for something. Okay, and in this world, we want to take responsibility for our actions, for what we say, what we do. We're 100% responsible for everything. But, okay, I'm saying replace the word but with and in your vocabulary. Yeah, just when you're speaking to someone, when you say but, you right there you limit them, and you're cutting them off. So, you know, help them expand their knowledge. Use the word and it makes their communication for them. It makes them think in an unlimited way. You know, that way you're not squashing them. Top-down view of the world, it works. Bottom-up view of the world, it doesn't work. Actually, there's another map. I created that map. I've got to link that in yet as well. Basically, what I'm saying is, I mean, you know, you're an individual, and then you look up. You got friends, family, all the way through community, society, all the way up to the top, the world. And when you're looking at the world from the bottom up, it's very difficult. You end up becoming very resigned and cynical. It's really hard to solve problems. So the minute you change your viewpoint, where you're looking at it from the top, from the world down, your thought process starts to change, and you just think of things in a different way, and they become solvable. And in a way, you get your head out of your own ass. And then, you know, Tom speaks of it, the whole systems thinking, and that's a little bit more evolved than just looking at it from the world world down view, but that's all about using the mind maps and the project management and collaborating on a massive scale where, you know, people put their egos and whatnot aside. So, you know, we're going to help others as opposed to thwarting others. We're going to, you know, we've got financial security here as opposed to being in financial trouble. We got wealth sharing, you know, instead of just wealth for the top 2% of the world. You know, we got to pay it forward mindset as opposed to just amassing massive amounts of wealth and cars and houses and things you're not even going to use, you know. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with enjoying nice things, and if you enjoy aesthetic appeal or it makes you feel good, but just to amass it for the sake of amassing it, come on now, guys, let's think about how we can change the world. You know, I got to open UIE, open source, as opposed to using knowledge as a weapon. We're continuously growing and evolving. You know, over in this other world, you stop learning, you know it all. Working from the heart as opposed to being right, making others wrong. Law of attraction as opposed to justification. Environmentally friendly as opposed to harming the environment. Social consciousness as opposed to social apoplexy. Ethical wealth creation as opposed to unethical wealth creation. Here we go, old systems thinking as opposed to linear thinking. You know, we're experiencing life as opposed to escaping from life. You know, there's growth rather than depression. There's contribution rather than taking. We're passionate rather than being uncaring. We're engaged rather than being disengaged. You know, here you've got the goodness of human beings. I truly believe in the goodness of all human beings. Over here you got humans behaving badly. We embrace change. We don't fear change. Getting off of it instead of staying stuck. All I mean there, guys, is sometimes you get fixated on something that you just, you know, you think you're right, or you have an upset with someone. And, getting off it is just get off your point of view. Stand, look at it from a different perspective. Have someone show you your blind spot, whatever. Just be open-minded. Our interest, you know, we're other-centered. We're thinking about other people as opposed to being self-centered. We want others to succeed. Over here, people are secretly hoping for others to fail. Know what you want to be. Most people in this world have no idea what they want to be. And then, you know, projects, to-do lists, as opposed to flying by the seat of your pants. So that's, I was just trying to contrast my vision of Utopia with the current world. The good news I have for y'all is once you can move from this world into a you and me world fairly quickly and start to connect with the right people. You know, there's a certain energy, the law of attraction. You know, you're attracting what you're putting out, and it all begins by honoring your word and starting to share yourself authentically. Just be yourself, honor your word, and that is your access into the world over here. Now, the other side of that, guys, is you can be living in this world and it's great, and the moment you dishonor your word and or you stop sharing, you're going to end up back into this world over here. Anyways, that's what I had to share with you today. It was a bit long-winded. It's my first real video. I guess I could reshoot it, but you know what? I think I'll just go ahead and share it. Just like a lot of my maps, the community, you know, when you're involved with such a community of so many amazing people, you really don't know what to share and what not to share. But hey, if it puts a smile on one person's face and a twinkle in their eyes and just gives one person that aha moment, then it's worth it, even if 1,000 people have kind of browsed through the map or whatnot. So anyways, guys, Thanks for listening to me, and lots of love. So, have a good day. Be unlimited. All right, take care.